Hours after I completed my last video, the news came through officially that former IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati has passed on. By the way, I suggest that in case you missed my last video, please try and make the time to take it in. And then you will understand a lot of things. You know, the lives of those who go before us should be a lesson to us. We should try our best to learn as much as we can. And there is a lot to learn from the life of Wafula Chebukati, especially for those who in the future will serve the nation of Kenya as leaders or in any important position in government, but especially serving in the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. But what I'd like to focus on today's show is what I believe is still coming, because this thing linked to the IEBC, in my opinion, is just getting started. What do I mean? I'll tell you in a minute. You know, there's a lot of celebration right across the country, which is strange. How do you celebrate when somebody has gone to meet his maker or her maker? How? And yet you and I, we too have our date with our maker. So why should you celebrate when somebody goes before you? Well, the answer to that question, I think we all know. This is an extraordinary, or rather not an ordinary situation. Kenyans are in pain. And many Kenyans believe that pain was forced upon us by the actions of one Wafula Chebukati. And therefore it is unrealistic, indeed very difficult, to stop Kenyans celebrating. Let us just tell the truth. Indeed, I expect a backlash for even asking Kenyans why they're celebrating. But luckily I have a thick skin. I'm waiting for it. Unajua experience inasaidia sana. Anyway, let's go back to that question. What am I saying when I say that these IEBC manenos are just starting? Well, let me play you a brief audio captured shortly before the 2017 general elections in Kenya. Don't worry, it is not boring. Yeah, just listen in. I'll be back shortly.
I don't know where to start. I don't know what to tell you, because I have why. And as my sister-in-law Pamela said, we sing the national anthem and we say, justice. Come on, what do we say? Justice? Kenyans, let justice be our shield and defender. It is wrong. It is not fair. Look at the babies. My oldest is 10. If I include Jacob, my oldest is 17. And our youngest baby with Christopher is 2 years old. Are you happy? Because I know you're watching. May you not have peace. And vengeance is of the Lord. Na Mungu atatupigania. Wakenya tusimame imara. Chris's death will not go in vain. Tumekataa. This is a tribute to my husband, Osiepna Wonyithinda, my friend.
The curse of a widow. The curse of a widow is very bitter. We have refused. I know you're watching. You shall not have peace. Now, for a curse to work, it needs authority. Does Eva Msando, or did Eva Msando, the wife of the late IEBC computer guru, Chris Msando, did she have the authority? Oh yes, she did. And to make matters worse, the good book tells us, who is the husband of a widow? Who? What? Now, I'm aware that we're all very well educated, at least most of us. Tumesoma sana. What is this rubbish about curses? Chris, are you taking us back to the Stone Age? This is rubbish. I know. But let us look at the lives of the people who benefited. Oh yes. The people who benefited from the very gruesome murder of Chris Msando. Where are they today? What are they doing? Do they have peace? Do they? Please answer that question for yourself. Although tumesoma sana, curses don't work. The spiritual realm does not exist. I know. But still, allow me to give you an old wives' tale. Just for a minute. Okay? Now the words of Eva Msando, the widow of Chris Msando, were not just empty words. It was a curse on national television. There is no way it could have failed to land. And it had cause. Why was Chris Msando murdered? Why? Can you answer that question? Why was he murdered? For what? What was so precious that it was more precious than a human life? The life of Chris Msando. And I can assure you that nobody who was involved will be untouched. No family, immediate family, of all those who are involved will be untouched. It won't happen. Even those who could have done something but did nothing will be touched. And unfortunately, this latest news on Wafula Chebukati is just the beginning, spiritually speaking, of the consequences of the widow's curse over what happened to her husband in the hands of the IEBC. And what I can tell you is mambo bado, tena bado sana. You see, we have entered a deadly phase of the season of judgment. The season of judgment is when the justice that Eva Msando is crying for must be addressed and completed. And of course, you don't have to believe me. You don't. It is your right to completely ignore and rubbish what we're saying on this video. You know, in this life you can do many bad things. But if the bad thing you do will leave blood in your hands, you're in very serious trouble. Your family is in very serious trouble. Generations to come are in very serious trouble. That is really what it is. Wafula Chebukati, in your travels, please say hi to Chris Msando. Tell him that Kenyans have not forgotten. Tell him that justice is still our shield and defender in the Kenya he left behind. This is the last call for my latest special report, which reveals a lot of what is happening in the inner circle, confirmed by many things we have discussed today. The presidency is suddenly a very lonely place, but there's some super fascinating things happening deep in the presidency, which we should not ignore. Indeed, which we should pay close attention to if we want to start guessing accurately what is going to happen next. And in this Kipindi Chalala Salama, strictly only for the next 24 hours, you'll be able to get this special report and all previous special reports for the crazy price of only Kenya shillings 1,999. So please rush, please take full advantage of this, and please do everything in your power to avoid being time barred. Because 24 hours from now is a very short time indeed. I believe you can see all the details in front of your screens right now. And all that is left is for you to take action quickly. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.